Hello, Mario here. This is a three-part video series on enhancements that you can make to your camera moves. In the previous video, the enhancements that we talked about were camera eases. In this video, we are going to talk about camera shake and handheld, and how we use them. One way to enhance the emotion of a scene is by camera moves, or enhancements made to the camera moves. This video will dig into these enhancements. The enhancements are handheld and camera shake. Here's the hard stop again. This time, I will be using the hard stop with some purpose. Let's say it's a nice sunny day in the city, then, oh, cool! See how the camera stops suddenly when something unexpected happens? It's not overly obvious, but it does give reason to stop the camera suddenly. The sudden stop could also be enhanced with a shake, or it could even be enhanced with a handheld. Let's talk about these. We've all seen movies with car chases where the camera's shaky and crazy. We feel the emotion of that car chase. This shaky camera adds tension to a scene. We can enhance this camera move further by trucking in as if we're really filming this scene, and also keep the handheld effect going. I even use the same idea for water scenes, but with a more of a floaty feel. It's still a handheld effect, just a little bit more relaxed. What we are watching now is a slight handheld effect with a hard stop. If you're interested in the sparkle or the reflection in this scene, I'll be adding another video that explains how I did that. Okay, so I have this After Effects scene, and I do have a camera. What we're going to do is do a simple camera pan, then we're going to add a camera shake to it, and then we're going to add a handheld. And the way I'm going to do this is to make sure that all three of those are separate, so I can adjust my camera shake, I can adjust my handheld, and I can adjust my actual camera moves. So right now I have just a simple camera pan. And the way I added that was by adding the camera layer, going layer, new, camera, and then I just set keys on position by using the stopwatch. And that gave me these two keys on the camera. So now let's say I wanted to put a camera shake when the airplane hits the balloon. So that's where the connection is on the timeline. So instead of doing the shake right here on the camera move, I'm going to do it on a null. If I did it on the camera move and the shake would be tied together. But I'm going to do the shake separately. I'm going to add a layer, new, null. And what this will do is we're going to attach the camera to this null. And I'm going to rename this to shake. So let's see when the airplane hits the balloon. It is right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do on the null is I'm going to set a position key right when it hits and right after. So our camera shake will happen between those two. So this is our camera pan, but our camera is also connected to our null. So it's also going to run whatever we do here. Right now, nothing's changed. It's still our simple camera pan. What I'm going to do is put a camera shake right where those two keys are. Now the way we add a camera shake is going to Window, Wiggler. And that will open up usually over here. Frequency is how many shakes. Magnitude is how big are those shakes. So what I'm going to do, make sure my playhead is away from there. Highlight these two keys. And I'm going to set this frequency, I'll leave it at 5. But magnitude, I wanted a big shake. So instead of 1, let's do a magnitude of 7. And I'll hit apply. Now what you could see is that it actually added keys in here for the shake. So that's why I kept this separate. I don't want those keys with the camera. I want them separate. So let's see what that looks like. So that wasn't much of a shake. So let's do a little bit more of an aggressive shake. So I'm going to undo that. Maybe I'm going to put the keys a little further apart. Highlight it. And this time we're going to go 9 and 9. Let's see what that looks like. There you go. So that was a little slow. But it did work. If I want to adjust that, I can highlight all of them, hold the Alt key, and bring them closer together. Okay, I can adjust it again. Alt. There you go. So now, if you notice, I have the camera keys and the null separate. So let's say I decide, you know what, I don't want the null anymore. I could disable it. So now the camera's not connected to it anymore. I can hit play, and there's no shake. Or I can enable it again. And the shake is there. Now let's say I wanted to add a handheld to that. So I'm going to collapse the camera, collapse the null, and I'm going to add another null. Layer, New, Null. And this one we'll call Handheld. And what I'm going to do is connect the shake to the handheld. So now all three of them will be active. So let's do a handheld now. Same idea as the shake. We're going to key position, but this time, instead of keying just a little area, we're going to key the whole thing. That way it's handheld through the whole pan. I'm going to turn a position key on at the very beginning. There you go. And after the pan. And add a key. Now right now this has done nothing. You can see there's no shakes in here. So we still have the impact shake when the balloon pops, but we don't have any handheld. This is very stable. So now what I'm going to do is add a handheld in there. So I have these two keys. I make sure my playhead is outside of them. I highlight them. And we go back to our wiggler over here. And this time we don't want it as aggressive as our impact shake. We want it more gentle. So we could say magnitude will be 4, frequency per second, 3. Hit apply, and you could see the handheld keys. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's not bad. I'm going to undo that and add the shake again. But this time, again, a little bit more aggressive. Instead of 4, let's go to 7. And instead of 3, let's go to 4. So that's a little bit more aggressive. That would be more like an action sequence or a car chase. But again, I could turn off the handheld, and I could turn off the camera shake just by changing these. And I can go back and I can adjust them separately. I could change my camera move on my camera. I could still change my camera shake when it hits the balloon. And I could still change the handheld effect. So all three of these are separate. It's a great way to work. It's a great way to control the camera. I hope that was helpful. If you try any of this stuff, feel free to share it with me. I'd love to see it.